All right, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I have not played in just a moment. I feel like I just sort of dealt with the Legia Cross, and now I'm going through the higher rank items. No, I have an urgent. Oh, to deal with the Boros. Okay, that's viable. What do we have sword-wise going on? No, we can't deal with that till we get the Gracium. I think Gracium is a rank beyond us. We'll see how this goes. And if it goes badly, I can upgrade my armor. And if not, then there's nothing to worry about. Alright. I don't think I need anything, so I'll just fight here or get some more bread and vegetables. Boros is a sort of monster that it doesn't really have any special effects. It doesn't have a breath attack, it doesn't have fire, lightning, anything like that. It just is really big, and it has a big tail, and it'll like kind of build up momentum as it spins itself around. So hunting is more just about keeping your space and positioning. Otherwise, yeah, doesn't have too many tricks. It has a lot of health, which is kind of my biggest fear. Where is he? Okay, he's down 2. Because this quest, beyond just hunting the Boros, we are here to aid our Shakalaka. So, very important stuff. Always gotta get used to the camera in this game. It's interesting that the Shakalaka's name appeared in those cutscenes, but only in the top left corner, and only when he was actually in frame. I wonder if it's kind of like some cheat they use to animate with assets that are in the scene. I don't know. I have a guess. Oh, I'm in a bad position, honestly. So this is what he'll do. It's better if you get caught in it like me. Just stay by his feet. Trying to get out, the range of that attack is ridiculous. So just try and stay by his feet as he spins around. Because this is the low rank version of the monster, it doesn't really seem like he's dealing a tremendous amount of damage. Or maybe that work to get the armor that I have right now is just super worth it. I don't know, either or. We'll just hope it's not too much of a slog time-wise, because I had just recently fought one of these. And that was in 3rd Ultimate, and I don't think you even encounter them until high rank in 3rd Ultimate. Or not 3rd Ultimate, 3rd Portable. That. Either which way, that thing, the fight took probably 35-40 minutes. And I was more or less hitting them the whole time. It was just tremendous amount of health. I'm gonna take that hit for a round acorn. Probably wasn't worth it. An easy flash bomb. Yeah, I'm just like attracted to shiny stuff like a bird. Doesn't matter about how safe I am or not, there is a shiny thing to pick up. Okay. Lovely. Now, I don't have trank bombs, but the pitfall trap that I picked up, it could well be used just to get some extra hits if I feel like it. Alright, Boros. Yeah, like see this attack there. When he's just spinning around, he's really picking up weight and like pivoting around on his feet, it's not even worth trying to get close, in my opinion. If you have a bow gun, you know, it's a different situation. You can kind of use that opportunity to help them with hits, but melee, meh. No real point. It is good to play Monster Hunter as a study sometimes, though. Like, I'm finding this useful in just thinking about how I want to approach a boss fight that I'm designing myself in D&D. I have a group of players, and they're like level 12, 13, which in 5th edition is incredibly powerful. Action economy-wise, like a single enemy will pretty much always get pelted and penalized by different things, because there's just so many overlapping coalescing abilities that it's really tough to, even if you have a character with a lot of attacks or a lot of health, they're the only thing that's getting hit. So at that point, there's so much damage going out, it's very tough to have a single enemy be a legitimate threat, no matter how strong they are. I've tried to counter that in a few ways. I don't know who invented it. I remember reading it in a D&D magazine ages ago now, and I've just kind of stuck with it. But there's a concept for creatures and boss creatures called a paragon creature, and they get to take full turns on 2 different rounds of initiative. So it's kind of like there's 2 of them, and they get to access all of their abilities. And it does let you set up some things, lets you have a creature that has a lot of movement, which is fun. But sometimes it's challenging to balance, because you want something that does feel fair, but also feels overwhelming. So overwhelmingly fair is like not a description often applied to monsters, maybe occasionally like grandmothers, you know, the closest I can think of, but not monsters and not bosses. So yeah, it definitely it depends. And then there's some systems that are out there like CR, challenge rating, that are kind of designed to itemize that threat and assign numerical values that kind of let you know what is reasonable and what isn't. I haven't personally had too much success with those systems, but I guess it really depends on the type of campaign you're running, because I think a lot of the traditional challenge ratings for monsters they're built in with this assumption that you're following other guidelines. You know, for example, how many magic items you're giving your party. Or maybe even bonus stuff, right? I always love, in a campaign, to eventually give everyone somewhat unique powers based on their backstory or choices they've made or whatever. And I'll create those as prestige classes. And sometimes, you know, those will augment their power, but you give somebody a good magical item. Or in 5th edition, you give somebody maybe even 2 magical items, and they're already so far ahead of that challenge rating curve, just because the system itself doesn't mandate the giving of oh, that's a weird move. Yeah, it doesn't mandate you giving magical items to your players as much. It doesn't say you can't. You can do whatever you want, it's your table. But there are older editions where it was like, by this level, your party should have a +1 longsword, or at least armor of this rating, or whatever. Now that's not really mechanically enforced as much when I see it. Ooh, I'm getting beat up by the Duramboros. That's the first time I'm ever like happy about the bug attacking me. Ah, well. I just had fear for a second there. I forgot to even record this and was just talking to myself like an absolute weirdo. It's only 50%, which is the important differentiation. I don't really even know what to define Let's Play as, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I've been watching it independently, and I call it It's. Like, what even, you know, what is it? Is it a concept? Is it a nouveau rich movement? Like, it's none of those things. But I've been watching it probably since I had access to it. You know, I was watching really, really early Let's Players at a time when it was more or less just Mario 64 and 10,000 different versions of Ocarina of Time. And I think then it kind of split off into folks who had capture cards installed in their PCs and folks who had external capture cards and were willing to capture your console. Emulation hasn't always been the best way to capture games, and depending on your tastes, maybe it still isn't. I know some people really like the output of original hardware, and maybe the deficiencies that create unique visual looks, and that's fine. You know, it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, there's definitely a time when I was watching early Let's Players, and they'd be like, "Hey, I'm playing this. I'm doing this on an emulator. If it looks awful, apologies. That's why." And now it's kind of gone the other direction, where if something looks super, super crisp, you can almost always tell it is emulated, because you're able to force so many things that weren't always around. And it's fun to see the growth there. But would it be called art? Is it just entertainment? Is it commentary? Because it's more than just offering up a critique, right? Like, no one would be watching a Let's Play and mistake it for a review. There might be elements of review in a Let's Play, but you wouldn't really say that there's elements of a Let's Play in a review, right? Like, maybe there are. I don't know, they're unique enough that you could have one in the other without it just becoming the other thing, which kind of insists that it is something. But to say it's art is, I don't know, that seems pretentious, and beyond pretentious, it's not entirely fitting. Like, you are creating something, but you're not like writing or drawing. It's not like you're directing a film or writing a script. So yeah, I guess entertainment is the best option to call it. It's not a thing to try and quantify. And it's probably a little bit better than just like narrating this fight with the Duramboros. Roll around legs, continue to roll around legs, roll around legs again. It's not super riveting from that perspective. I think the design of this guy is really, really cool. I kind of feel bad for him because I always get the vibe that he's just like a cranky vegetarian, and we have disrupted his feeding. I recognize that just his pure size, like, you know, a moose is deadly enough in the real world, right? Like a moose, if it's rutting or something especially, if it charges you, even if it just pseudo charges you, that's still intimidating. So, if this guy is anything like a moose, I recognize that he's probably a threat, but it just feels weird. It's like, God, the thing that's like a bunny. Can't remember its name completely. But it's just, that's a threat? Like, alright. It feels like being like really hardcore like villain and being sent off to deal with some like anime kids, and you're like, all right, if they're the champions of the universe, like I'll fight them, but it feels icky. Ah, well, I had to largely get over that with Monster Hunter altogether, actually. For a large part of when I was younger playing the game, and the first game kind of focuses on using raw meat more, like harvesting it from the herbivores. And I think I got really like focused on trying to dodge and fight well, so I didn't have to use tricks like that. So I didn't have to go out and hunt the virtual herbivores that, as far as we can tell, do not actually exist. But I still felt bad about just like getting stacks of their meat. That's being a kid though, you know, you play a few MMOs and even like Minecraft, and you're like, all right, I have 99 cow corpses worth of meat on me. Let me put that in my chest of other things of the exact same size. Or play RimWorld when you have to design a fridge, and the fragility of life becomes an Excel spreadsheet pretty quickly. It'd be cool to, I wonder, I'm sure somebody has actually, now that I'm thinking about it. If they put in Monster Hunter monsters into RimWorld, it would kind of be a style clash, because RimWorld doesn't really have prolonged engagements where you're like dodging stuff and healing and reassessing. It's more of a fight has started, fight is ongoing, fight is over. Determine how many limbs you need to repair. Oh well. Oh, I forgot to paintball them, but it's okay. Cool. Yeah, so really the only issue with Duramoros is just huge amounts of health. And you know, there's some terminology I feel like I should look into. Because to me, the term Boros doesn't inherently, like, mean bull. But I've seen two different things in different mediums now where Boros is kind of referring to a beast-like entity, even if it's used as a, what is it? It's not a prefix, but it's the ending of the word. So I'm curious if there's some creature or entity or phrase that I'm not aware of that it means something more. I don't know. Language is just one of those infinitely rewarding things, and it's like being an insufferable film nerd or somebody who read the book before the TV show. It's like you're catching on all these little details that are really only there for you, but because they're there for you, they're fun to find and point out. And I think that's half of language. Like, I like being dorky about that type of thing, and I've been reading a book, and the way that a sentence is turned, or the way that a word is unintentionally or even intentionally given like a double entendre, and it has this hidden meaning that you really only know if you are aware of the possibility of it being there. And then you laugh at it, and there's no way to answer like, what are you laughing at, without being like, I'm just a pompous asshole. Like, that's the honest answer. It really is. Because word jokes are, I don't know, they're not in the mainstream. I feel like you need to apologize for laughing at them too publicly. It's okay to enjoy them, but you also have to be like, oh, okay, I'm a dork, and I thought the arrangement of the sentence was really funny. It happens. I think stuff like that is probably why it's a good thing that I'm an author. Because if I wasn't, I would just be like an insufferable person to play board games with, which is fine. but it feels like the lesser evolution of what it could be. Okay. Oh, I actually got out of the thing. So, perfect. Yeah, and see, Duramboros, it has more health than Legiacros, and Legiacros is the title monster. Oh, well. Do I have... I do. Alright, we'll use a whetstone. I didn't think I had rations left, but I do, so why not? Oh, nice. He's just gonna immediately walk into my trap. I didn't expect that, but awesome. Duramboros is one of those monsters that if you get it into a pitfall trap, you do not want to attack it from the front. You can kind of see there, but I'm pretty sure that will hurt you if it's doing its horn smacking attempt to get out. There's other monsters that do it. I'm trying to think. I think... Oh god, what's the pickle? Can't remember the pickle's name right now. Devilho, that's what pickle is called. If you hunt Devilho, don't attack it from the front in a pitfall. It will like spray demon breath, dragon breath. It sprays something, it's not good. Hey, nice. Oh, pain. Alright, more spinning. That's fine. I can't say I've actually... I don't think I've ever made armor out of Duramboros. And I would imagine it's just because I haven't ever had the patience to hunt more than one of these things as is required. Oh, I forgot to attack with its butt. It was turning around and I was like, oh great, bad AI, let me heal. But no. Its butt is a weapon. Much like my dog. My dog's butt is not a weapon of aggression, but it is a weapon of cuteness. And it does have paralyzing attributes, which means it technically has more elemental possibility than Duramboros. Little known fact. That's funny, I think when like Pokemon did a Corgi Pokemon, I think it was electrical, which is kind of funny. Paralyzing cuteness. Alright, everybody grab an orange square. Let's try this flash bomb. Nice. Oh right, I need to sharpen my thing. Oh well. I hate to miss on good opportunities where it's knocked over, but whatever. I'm like hooked into its horn. That's great. Alright, it digs. I think it only does that to leave the area, though. It doesn't, I don't think it burrows and dives at you or whatever it would be. Not like Diablos. Or Rocktor, I think is the other one that'll do it. Or no, Agnactor. Rocktor is the little one. Although I guess the little one does it as well, so it's all different versions of the same truth. All right, Duramboros, come on. I was trying to dance. Didn't work. Kind of hoping there isn't another one of these as a urgent and high rank. If it is, it is what it is, but just so much time spent smacking. And if I recall, you can't actually cut off Duramboros' tail. You can only break its shell. So the tail will deal less damage, but it won't go away. The range will always be there. Okay, it's still paintballed, so that's what matters to me. Back to 2, eh? Not exactly using all of its canvas, so to speak, but whatever. Yeah. Kind of a weird series of events, but it works out. Ah, darn it. Okay. I just don't want to fight something like this in a corner. Doesn't seem like the right move. It doesn't happen all the time, but in the moments where it does, it's fantastic to end a fight with a paintball. It's been a while since it's happened to me, but it is always quite humorous. Ah, darn it. Where could it be going? This is where the fight ends. No? Okay. Yeah, really just jumping between this area and then that one. Doesn't even care about the areas in between. Weird. It's not like eating or anything. It was in the other area, but I wonder why it's coming here. Is it just because it's one of the few spots in the map big enough for it to like truly be a Duramboros? I don't know. It's nice when you give an animal space to be an animal, though. Even just today, I took my dog out, and I'm kind of an overprotective dog owner, so I don't really go off leash too much. But we were in a good enough area, so we dropped the leash. And it was nice to see the dog be a little speeding bullet. Fun to kind of live vicariously through their joy. Okay, now we have limping. We manually going to area 9? No, we're digging in the corner. Interesting. Yeah, my only guess is because Duramboros is so big, they didn't want to animate him going through these areas or give him pathing for it because he would get stuck. I don't know. No, it'd be great if I had some stamina for this last wing of the fight, but whatever. Oh, my iron pickaxe was stolen. Well, that sucks. Oh, cool. Aw. I was like excited to have a good hit on his tail, and then I was all paralyzed. At least we have a universal dislike of thieves. He's getting my stuff back for me. Jeez, what is going on? He's there, then he's there, and then he's in the air, and now he's flipping in the air. It's actually usually hilarious to watch that animation when he's up in the air. It doesn't always work. Oh well, Duramboros completed. Oh, it's a weird inside look at his face. Uncomfortable. All right. Well, we get extra carves because he's so big, so that's nice. But yeah, look at that. Inside his face, you can see how his eyes and stuff are set. Kind of interesting. A little weird, but interesting. Okay, we'll get some secret stashes. Why not? Is that my pickaxe? I don't know if we'll get it back, but worth trying. Cool. Take all that stuff. Cool. Yeah, why not? So the Duramboros is addressed. Now I guess our Shakalaka is returned to us. Or do we get a second Shakalaka? Kayamba, that guy, the one. That guy screwed up Kiamba's plan to hunt the giant monster. Huh? You thought Kiamba was Cha-Cha? Yeah, bam. Oh god, these things. Kiamba take offense at that. No, lump Kiamba in with Cha-Cha. Kiamba elite warrior of Shakalaka. Kiamba destroy enemies with mere glare. Kiamba strong as 10, Bolvengo. Kiamba not lost. Kiamba taking part in an important sacred ritual journey. To pass coming of age rite, Shakalaka must go on journey to find own mask. Everybody knows this. Huh? If Kiamba on sacred ritual journey, why was Kiamba hanging around such a dangerous place? Well, when Kiamba left Shakalaka village, Kiamba zigged when probably should have zagged, then got distracted by huge... You know what? It no matter. Forget Kiamba say anything. All that matter is mighty Kiamba was on journey to find golden ultimate mask. But then, stupid Cha-Cha get all up in Kiamba's business and fire-breathing wyvern steal mask. But Kiamba's smart. Kiamba know wyvern and mask are somewhere near this village. So, Kiamba find way back to, until Kiamba find mask, Kiamba decides to stick around here. Since you steal Kiamba prey, now you owe Kiamba favor. You serve as minion while Kiamba hunt for mask. Kiamba provide support with dance. You provide entertainment and hunting prowess. It make good 1-2 combo. Alright. Okay, so I'll take Kiamba. Why not? What is the Duramboros armor looking like? Not that I really wanna... Oh, look at the Legicrus stuff. I could make it fun. I don't have the, Oh, I have some of it. Really bad against fire. Shame. Okay, I'll put away some stuff here. Okay. Okay, person's talking about Cha-Cha. Okay, interesting. So now a few more quests have popped up. Nipple Snarf is... What a fun name. Probably good to save until next time. So let's go see how the Volvidon... Or how long that takes us. Okay. So Volvidon is the final form, or the final usage, I guess, of the same skeleton that Argyros and... Oh god, I can't remember the bunny thing's name, but... Lagombi, I feel like? Yeah? Well, they all use the same skeleton, and Volvidon's the last one. It's kind of, I don't know if it's an anteater or something like that, but it's a combination of like a pangolin and an anteater. And I think that's how it is. A pangolin. I think that's what its name is, but it's something like that. A pangolin is kind of like a real world dragon, almost. They're scaled lizards and they roll up into balls, and unfortunately they're largely approaching extinction because they're hunted for traditional medicine purposes. Very sad. Quite cute creatures. Nice. I have a theory that virtual reality would be a great place for a lot of our dangerous vices, but it only works once the virtual reality is like truly convincing enough to function as a replacement. Like, I think, you know, big game hunting, for example, is a bad practice. It's not something people should do, especially for endangered animals, but largely, people don't need to be out there shooting elephants and giraffes and zebras and whatever. Like, there's no need anymore in the modern era. There's a difference between, you know, tribal populations trying to survive and people just paying for a ticket to go and kill something. And that's what a lot of modern big game hunting is, in my opinion. So it would be really great if you could have a ethical replacement, something that would be virtual, but is captivating enough to make it a worthwhile pursuit. You know, something where you have maybe a movie quality setup, a unique circumstance. Maybe you can even, you know, in an interesting VR option, you could do like historical hunts. So you could maybe even, like, I would do this. You know, you can go on the hunts that Theodore Roosevelt would have went on back in the day. I'm pretty sure he was a big hunter, and he was also one of those Americans that really liked to go out and like shoot a lion or something. Now it was a different time period, but it's not to say people aren't doing that today. And unfortunately, I say that because I love animals, but the appeal is probably still there. And you know, I say that as I'm playing Monster Hunter, right? Like, I think that element of humanity to deal with the biggest, scariest thing out in the woods and come back with its head, no matter how gruesome that reality is built into us on some level. But wouldn't it be great if you could go out and have that experience and authentically feel like you're having that experience without actually having to have the head? I don't know. I've always felt like I would have been a different person if I didn't have video games. Because I know a lot of news outlets really love the story of like video games cause violence and they disrupt youth and what have you. But I feel like if I didn't have video games and I didn't have maybe a healthier outlook or an outlet for some of those like darker impulses and even like, you know, violent ones or whatever it is, where would have they manifested? Where would have they gotten an opportunity to come out? Because the thing is most things do boil out, good and bad. It just tends to come up to the surface, and I would much rather like play a bunch of Grand Theft Auto than get into a fight at the schoolyard or whatever, right? And I imagine that in most cases, that's probably for the best. Tough to implement in all cases. Still though. And it's interesting just thinking on it too, because I'm not inherently opposed to hunting, but I don't like when folks kind of like misconstrue what certain things are. You know, like I believe in the subsistence hunting if that's what is going to happen. Like if somebody is going to hunt, it's a good reason to do it, to actually provide for a family or a community or whatever. But I find it frustrating when somebody is like, oh, I subsistence hunt, but they could go to a grocery store. Now there's value in like saving money and getting more and using all the parts and stuff like that. It's a kind of a fence to be on a side of or the other. It maybe just be a case by case matter.
But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like folks force on themselves an overly traditional set of restrictions when it isn't really the case. Like, there's tons of folks who are against restricting firearms because they're like, how am I going to provide for my family? And that's a valid question if this was like prospector times and everyone had to hunt to get anything. But unless you're in like an incredibly rural situation, unless, you don't have a job that can provide, or you're in an economically challenged situation, you're in a food desert, something. I think some folks are just kind of using that as an excuse to feel better about themselves or justify maybe weapons when they don't need them. So it's a whole thing. Because I just don't think everyone should be out there just shooting and bagging and dropping stuff in freezers willy-nilly. I do like tag systems, It makes sense to not just limit how many of a certain animal are getting hunted, but who gets to based on a reasonable access. Because if it's just a bunch of folks who ultimately in the day just want to go shoot something, it is what it is. It's a human impulse at this point in time. It's the desire to hunt things can also be a cultural element for a lot of people. But here in Canada anyways, the tag system typically isn't for people of a First Nation status. So if you are somebody who has legitimate cultural ties to hunting certain species or hunting in a certain area, you typically are actually given unadulterated access. Up north, the Inuit population doesn't need tags to shoot elk or seal even. They can more or less hunt anything they want on the land within a certain range of, allotted reservations and stuff like that. But even if you are a Canadian citizen and you're up there, you still need a tag. Even if you're married to a First Nations person, you still need a tag. You don't have to get those permissions, and that's, it is what it is. But it's just, it's the real difference between somebody who is in a rural northern community without any stores, anything like that, and what's in their freezer is the only line between them and starvation, compared to somebody who maybe has other options and is just having a preference for traditional ways of getting food. One definitely deserves priority, and the other is just kind of when availability comes up, I guess. Oh man. The different random tirades go on playing Monster Hunter. Now, the thing is, too, with Monster Hunter, you're doing a lot of... I don't really think this is subsistence hunting. I think this is more high-level pest removal. At the end of the day, these are very, very rural communities. The idea of centralized distribution is probably not even invented yet. A bunch of farms working in unison to provide a standardized output across locations. Maybe in big cities, but somewhere like this, it's very clearly everyone has exactly what they're producing and not much more. Sometimes you can trade for stuff, but not consistently enough to rely on it. So getting rid of these monsters is more of it's either them or us, because we're both trying to live here, and if we try and stay here, they're going to kill us type thing. We don't see a lot of that in the real world anymore. Certain communities, and northern communities, Alaska and that type of stuff. If there's a wolf, and it's like attacking or getting onto properties or rooting through food or attacking dogs or something like that. I've heard of parties being set up or traps being laid just to try and get it because it's a nuisance and a threat. But very rarely is it like, oh, you know, I had to get to my car and I had to kill a raptor to do it. Like, we don't have that type of persistent threat in our world anymore, which is probably for the best. Oh wow, lots of folks are impressed with the fact that I killed that Volvidon. Okay, lots of reading. Wait, what? Who knew there were two of those dim-witted little, I mean delightful little rascals? I'll wager you and these rugrats will make a perfect team. Play nice now, you hear? Guess now is not really the time for any kind of playing, though. If this dragon creature lives so deep, how will we even get down to investigate? Water pressure is way more intense at the sea bottom. Haul down all the oxygen supplies you want, it won't help you. At this point, our only option might be the statue. What statue, you ask? Well, the old timer at the smithy told me something fascinating a little while back. You know the cave behind the farm? Moga's guardian statue is enshrined in there. It's wearing an ancient mask. If the Wyverian artisan and the head farmer are to be believed, that mask is more than a moldy old decoration. They say the ancients that lived in the ruins beneath our village may have used the mask to breathe underwater. I'm just thinking out loud here, but if you can get that mask fixed, maybe you can reach that cave our little friends saw. I think the Wyverian artisan is on the same tack. He humbled something about needing Legiacrus parts to fix the mask. Speaking of which, another Legiacrus, no, not the one you beat, has been seen in the woods recently. Bring me any materials you managed to carve off the thing. I've made a list of everything we need. My pops probably won't be too keen on this scheme, so let's keep it between you, me, and the Wyverian artisan. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember getting the shark skin. It's like tough because you hunt the sharks, but you need to do it with a spear, otherwise you won't get the parts. Yam Bam? Why Cha-Cha here? Cha-Cha and Kiamba grow up in same Shakalaka village. Share same sacred coming of age rite. When Shakalaka want to be adult, they go on journey to find own mask. Kiamba was very excited for this. But since Cha-Cha and Kiamba are same age, village cut costs, and made us go on sacred journey together. This bad idea primarily because Cha-Cha is useless. Silly acorn head just get in the way and mess everything up. Kiamba never forget that fateful day. After many long days and nights, mighty Kiamba finally discover ultimate mask. But then, Cha-Cha screw up as usual, and Kiamba's ultimate mask got stolen by monster. That's why Kiamba decide to track down ultimate mask by all lonesome. Kiamba not journey with Cha-Cha again. Kiamba not make same mistake twice. If Minion decide to bring Cha-Cha along, he totally your responsibility. Kiamba want nothing to do with it. My eyes do not deceive me. The village's situation has taken a most dire turn. In times of peril, all lands must unite and support, if price is right. Love and trading save day, yes. I offer items now that help you fight sea monster. Make sure to check trade quests. Trade goods list for Wyverian Hub. May have you no need help, but better safe than sorry. Oh god, this guy has an accent and stuff to read through. The sea breeze beckons. Okay, great guy. Enjoy. I probably should have talked to Cha-Cha first. Nah. Cha-Cha for sure. Shakalaka dead. Cha-Cha go swimmy swim to check out land quakes deep down below bottom of sea. Now listen, no way would I fail or fall off the village pier and can't climb up. That's a smear campaign against me. Anyways, while I was underwater, I spied a gigantic, huge sea monster never seen before. Dimensions, you ask? Maybe 100 times bigger than Lake Iagros. 3 times taller than Cha-Cha. Big enough to gulp the village. You say I'm lying? That I was panicked? No, I recall every detail. But listen to me. Sure, landquakes that rock the village were perpetrated by this giant monster. It's a huge monster, believe me. Great sea dragon swims into deep dark cave in deep dark depths of ocean. Oh god, it's hard to translate. Cha-Cha follow until last breath, then life flashed before my eyes. Then I was in the Mogul Woods. It was a real turning point in my life. I reevaluated my priorities. Oh, what's Kiama doing here? Kiama is a friend since childhood. We shared formative years in the village, and we are also doing the same coming of age, right? Yeah, Shakalaka no reach adulthood until undertake quest to find own mask. It's a Shakalaka thing, hunter no understand. Because Cha-Cha and Kiamba are same age, we were supposed to go on quest together. Kiamba is a big Shaka klutz. Get in my way every step of the journey. And Cha-Cha never forgot that fateful day. Heroic Cha-Cha used last ounce of cunning to finally discover the best mask in the wide world, the ultimate mask. But then, at last dramatic moment, monster swipes Cha-Cha, super mask, all because of klutzy Kiamba, bumble stumble. Oh god, man, this language. Cha-Cha rues that day, decides to begin new quest for Super Duper Ultimate Mask, but this time Cha-Cha work alone. Okay, so is this basically saying if I bring them, only one is going to come? No, they'll both come. Great. What? These were 2 little kiddos? I feel so betrayed, or mildly annoyed at least. Anywho, I'm glad our itty-bitty buddy was able to make it back safe and sound. You can hardly tell he was drowning just a few short minutes ago. What a tough little guy. In other news, I asked the guild about the large shape he saw underwater. Oh, speaking of, I bet you anything they'll delay the evacuation now that we have some idea what's causing the quakes. Considering your track record, how could they not ask you to investigate whatever this dragon thingy is? Alright, so we can continue doing quests. But for now, we're going to stock up on what we need. And that'll be this episode of Monster Hunter, really. Probably go and finish off more of the 5-star stuff. It seems like this armor is doing pretty well, so until maybe like Rathlos or something, I might hold out. We'll see. We need something with perfect fire defense. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you around next time. Bye.